Hi guys, how's it going? So today I have a very different kind of video. This is an interview with my sister, Akemi Johnson, and we filmed this when I was in California in October 2019, so after I finished the PCT and I was just visiting her. She's been a long time travel inspiration for me and just all around good role model as an older sister, so I thought it'd be fun to interview her about how she got started traveling, and she's also a writer and she just came out with a book last year, so we talk about her book, and which is based in Okinawa, Japan, and so all about that as well. Hope you enjoy! Hey guys! Today I'm with a very special guest. My sister!
Hello.
She just wrote a book, which is really exciting. I'm a very proud sister. So exciting! Da, 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 da. So I thought I'd just bring her on and, you know, have her talk a little bit about traveling and writing, because I feel like these are things that you guys are interested in. So after college, you went and studied. Oh no, you did study abroad in college.
Actually, my first time traveling, I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
I was 16, and I did this a program called Amigos.
Yeah.
Maybe some of you have heard of it, where I went to Costa Rica for 8 weeks. But it was like an amazing experience. I was in this little village, and we were like planting trees and teaching English, and I mean, it made me want to travel like more and more.
I feel like that made me want to travel more. Good. She set a good example.
So then in college, I went to Kyoto for a year and lived in Kyoto and studied abroad in Japan. Yeah, because you know our mom's family is from Japan, like many generations ago. But I wanted to learn more about it, and that started like this long project I did in Okinawa, which is like the southern part of Japan, and that continued for years. So I just kept going back there, and I lived in Okinawa for a year later on too.
I got to visit her in Okinawa once, like 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yikes.
Oh, good memories.
Yeah, it was a really good time. I always tell people it's more like, kind of like a Hawaii of Japan. Would you say that as well?
Yeah, they have like the white sand beaches, beautiful water, and it's really far away from the rest of Japan. It feels like really like a different country, I think.
Yeah, it feels really different. Yeah, and then we got to travel around to like a few of, there's all these other little tiny islands around.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. But in between that, you also lived in Cambodia for a year.
Yeah, then after college, I lived in Cambodia for like a year and a half, and I was teaching at an international school in Phnom Penh, and I got to travel all around that area, like Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia. It's really cool to be able to spend a long time in a place and not just like vacation, you know, that to be able to like really live there, and from there you can like travel around the whole area.
Definitely true. I recommend it. I feel like I'm still doing that in New Zealand, so
yeah.
Would you recommend, if people want to do that, like to teach also? Did you think it was a good experience?
Yeah, I thought it was such a good experience because they like make it really easy for you. They arrange your housing and fly you over there, and then you have this like, you know, your coworkers are like, you know, become your friends. A lot of these international schools, they'll hire people right out of college to be teachers. So
yeah. Do you remember? Was it hard to get the job, or?
There was like a job fair in Boston where you could go and like interview there. So it was pretty easy.
Did you specifically want to go to Cambodia, or you were open to go?
I had gone to Thailand. I traveled in Thailand in college, and I really liked it, and I knew Cambodia was next to Thailand.
Nice.
That was it. So I really wanted to go back to that area and explore it. And so I did get to go back to Thailand a lot from Cambodia, and you know, really get to know Cambodia well.
Well, that's a part of the world that I have really grown to love. Yeah, Southeast Asia is just so good. Maybe I got that from you too. Really, you guys thought I was just traveling on my own, but apparently I'm just copying her. No.
Maybe it's genetic.
Yeah, maybe.
So then this book project, like I had to like keep going back to Okinawa. I went back there a couple years ago for like a few months, and you know, did a lot of research and reporting there.
And so, can you talk about a little bit what you are studying?
It's called Night in the American Village, and it's looking at like, you know, what it's like to live around a U.S. military base abroad. I think a lot of Americans don't even realize that we have as many as 1,000 military bases around the world. So I was looking at, like what is it like to live outside of one of these bases in a different country.
Right.
And in Okinawa, there are a lot of American military bases, and if you go there, that's like, part of the culture that you could explore if you wanted. It's interesting, I think, as an American to like see what our culture in our country is doing to these places far away,
Right.
and how it's affecting people. So I was looking at women specifically and talking to people and like just gathering their stories, and that's what's in here.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think we were kind of talking earlier, another reason why I thought it'd be fun to do this video is because both of us feel really strongly about when you travel somewhere, it's so good to learn the history of a place. I know I've talked about that before, but when I travel, I like to try and read a book about the place that I'm in. So if you go to Okinawa, this is a good one to read. But yeah, in general, like it just gives a whole nother kind of like just more depth to the place that you're in, and more historical context, I think, is always worth knowing.
I mean, I think you can go somewhere and like have a great trip even if you don't know a lot about the place.
Yeah.
But like if you do know the history and the culture, and like, I mean, the more you know, I think it, like you said, it adds like another layer, like different layers to it. And I think it's so easy to like Google places, and like kind of like read things, but you don't really get the same kind of experience as if you read a book.
Yeah. And when you're traveling, I feel like there's a lot of time on buses and planes and trains, and at least when I travel, so it's a lot of good time for reading.
Or audiobook too.
Oh yeah, you could do the audiobook.
Have there been books that you read that like stick out in your mind that you about places you traveled?
I read that First They Killed My Father when I was in Cambodia.
Yeah, I read that too.
And it was really good to read because it gives you this historical context for why the country is the way it is today and what's happened in the past pretty recent history.
Yeah.
But that one I thought was really good. Do you have any memorable ones?
One I'm just like coming to mind is what's called Catfish and Mandala. It's about Vietnam, and it's a Vietnamese American author who travels to Vietnam and like does a bicycle tour of the country.
Cool.
And so it like interweaves his, I read it a long time ago, I hope I'm getting this right, but interweaves his journey traveling with like his family history in the country.
Cool. I wish I read that when I was in Vietnam. Yeah. I'll link all these below, and also if you have any good books about places that you've read, make sure to comment them. Do you have any top tips if someone wants to go to Okinawa?
Get your international driver's license, because there's not really good public transportation. It's like a long skinny island, so if you have a car you can like go up to the north, and we did that. We went to the aquarium.
I think it's the biggest tank in the world.
Yeah,
with whale
it's
sharks.
really cool. I would just also like learn about it in some way, because there are a lot of U.S. military bases, and it can be like a sensitive topic. But it's, I think if you go to those places around the bases, it's also really interesting because you see like Americans there, you see Japanese people from mainland Japan and Okinawan people all kind of mixing together. There's really interesting foods because of that history, like taco rice. So taco rice is like what it sounds like, I guess, but it's like Japanese white rice. And then on top you put like what you would put in a taco. So instead of the taco shell, you have the white rice. It's like ground beef, tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, hot sauce, avocado. And I think it's really good. Yeah, I actually got to write a piece like looking at the history of that.
I'll link that below too.
Yeah. So it's really interesting how that like evolved.
I remember there being a lot of really good food in Okinawa.
Okinawa has its own food that's different from Japan. A lot of pork, but you don't have to eat pork. There's also something called bitter melon. They call it Goya there.
Mostly I remember eating a lot of soft serve ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is still true, but I remember at least a while ago, the people who live longest in the whole world are from Okinawa. So, like on average. So that's pretty cool. They must be doing something right. Did you find out anything about that?
Well, I think like the traditional diet is really healthy. It's like a lot of seafood and that bitter melon.
Oh, yeah.
Eat it. Yeah, but like unfortunately the younger generations are not
they're not
the same. I mean, they're more like, the diet we all kind of eat globally, and everyone drives everywhere. So.
Yeah. And how long, like, is it hard to get to Okinawa? I forget.
It's pretty easy if you're in Japan already. I want to say it's like a 2-hour flight or something from Tokyo, and you can get cheap airfare often on the domestic airlines have pretty cheap flights. It's pretty close to Taiwan if you're in Taiwan. Also from Seoul, South Korea, it's close.
Yeah, we went to Seoul once
from Okinawa. Yeah. That's one of the things about Okinawa is it's very central, and that's why like a lot of different countries have wanted to control it because it's like has a really good location that's very central. So for traveling, that's good too because you can get there easily from a lot of different places. It was an independent kingdom called the Ryukyus until the late 1800s when Japan overthrew the king and made the islands a prefecture of Japan. It's kind of a sad history. They were pressured to assimilate and become Japanese. All that's in the book.
Oh,
if you want to learn more. But it's its own special culture and history, and today people are really trying to like bring that back and revive it and protect it and not have it die out.
Because there's so many interesting places in the world to discover, and this is one of them. Do you have any favorite places that you've been? I know that's like a cliche question. I always don't like when people ask me this because they can't pick, but now I'm asking you.
I know. I feel like every time I go somewhere, like it's my new favorite place, and I'm like, I want to come back here. You know. Last year, I went to Italy for the first time, and went to Florence and the Tuscan countryside, like around this time in the fall, and it was just like gorgeous.
What's next? Any plans?
Travel plans?
Or writing or adventure?
Yeah, I'm going to Japan with my husband and baby this time.
Yeah, she's a really cute little baby.
Traveling becomes a lot harder when you have the baby.
But it's good, I think, like you've already got her traveling already.
Yeah,
so
she got her passport.
Cute.
It's really cute. And then I really want to go to New Zealand.
Yeah,
see this one. Yeah.
So thanks for coming to our TED Talk. I'm just kidding. I think that gives you a good overview about Okinawa and books and history. And my sister. Cool. Alright, well, thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos and make sure to check out all the links below. Happy travels! Bye!